Sandie here. Welcome back to the channel. Today I am working in my December project, which is why I have this small page protector and number. This is going to be story 6. I'm going to be working with some fun Brutus Monroe products. I have the What's Cooking cutting die set. It has a fridge, a plant, a stove with a coffee pot, and a clock. Now, my story is about coffee makers, so I'm actually going to use the stove and the coffee pot to tell the story. And I've also pulled out a bunch of embossing powder. So I have Icicle, Raven, Sterling, and White. I might bring out some other ones, don't know yet. So let's see what I can do. Right, now I did die cut and test it out to see how I want it to build up my dies. And I just went ahead and did that on this gray paper. So now I'm still going to take that gray paper. I'm taking my embossing ink pad and putting some of that ink pad down on the gray paper. And then I'm just covering each of those inked areas with embossing powder, and then the magic happens, you guys. You guys know I love embossing powder. I love the magic of it. It goes from this powder, to this super smooth and shiny surface, and it's just super magical. I mean, look at that. Oh, it's gorgeous. Okay, so the first one was my Raven, and then I did Sterling, and now I'm doing a little bit of White, and it's alabaster white, and it is a good deep white so that you don't really see the gray through it. Now the Icicle is a clear embossing powder, so it's just going to take that gray paper and kind of make it a little bit of shiny. So I have these down, and now I'm going to apply my dies to the embossing powdered areas, and then that way I can cut these bad boys out and then recreate my my little stove scene with my coffee pot on the top of it. Now there are going to be a couple of these that I will have to go back a second time and cut out because, like, the handle, there's only one handle, so I need to cut that out again so I can have two handles on my door, one or on my oven, one for the top door and one for the bottom. But I am just going to make sure that I go ahead and get everything on here, and then I'm going to use my little pokey tool to push out the little bits that are in there. So the dies themselves have tiny little holes that you can push through. And then I'm going to go ahead and use some liquid glue to go ahead and put my oven and stovetop together. So I made decisions about what pieces I wanted where. So I wanted my stove to be a stainless steel stove. So I am going to go ahead and use those pieces. Now, fun fact, my stove and oven in our house are separate. So I have like a gas stovetop on the counter, and then my oven is in my wall. So I don't have a one-piece stove like this set up, but it doesn't really matter for the story. It's just something that is really cute and adorable and is going to look great in my December project when I tell the story of the coffee pots, especially since there is this electric coffee pot here on the top of it. So I also cut out the base of that in black, and then I'm going to glue on the little bits here from that Icicle embossed gray paper, and I'm just going to put it together. Now I do trim off a little scrap piece of paper to ensure that the coffee pot is going to stay up there. Now these are actually little plant pieces that are inside that die. It's supposed to be like a little aloe plant, but I'm going to use it as steam marks from off my coffee pot. So now I'm actually putting together the layout. So I have taken my embossing ink pad and gone around the edges of this piece of 3x4 paper to fit inside the pocket, and I went around it with the gilded embossing powder, and now I have this gorgeous, gorgeous little bit of gold on that pocket. So this is where I'm going to build my scene. I'm going to go ahead and get that embossed oven with the coffee pot up there and get my number on there. So this is number 6 for my December project. Now, I have to say I do love figuring out what my December project is going to be about for the day, whether it is a current story, a past story, a Christmas memory, like whatever that is going to be. I don't necessarily put the stories to match each day. Like this is definitely not the 6th. So I am going to do the same thing with the Raven embossing powder that I did with the Gilded, and that is going to allow me to go ahead and emboss around this vellum. So vellum will warp a little bit, so I'm trying to take my time a little bit more and kind of like kiss the heat and pull it away, kiss the heat and pull it away. So I end up getting that done. And now I have these words, these sentiments that are going to go on top. And it says joy to the world. So I go ahead and get that glued down onto the vellum. And then I actually go ahead and put my journaling right on top of this vellum. And I talk about joy to the world, even the coffee is here or something like that. So now I'm just going to put a couple little Christmas phrases on the 2 photos for my pocket. And these are just little phrases from my stash. So I go ahead and get them down. And then I write, joy to the world, the coffee is here. So I'm just saying that all of my coffee dreams can be fulfilled with the Nespresso and the Keurig machine. And then just so I don't have glue bit showing, I'm going to put glue on the back of the letters here and adhere that down onto my paper. So I'm thinking I need a little extra something, so I have this little sticky thing right here, and I'm going to put that down. And then I need to go ahead and put my steamy bits, which are actually a cactus, on top of the coffee pot. And that's just going to give me these little steamy kind of like hot actions off of the coffee pot. I also ran my heat gun over top of the oven just to help smooth out any creases or bends that happened while I was putting it together. And that's going to be it, you guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again real soon for another video.